Praise be Jesus and Mary.
now and forever.
So they set out and went from village to village, spreading the good news everywhere and curing diseases. Diyos Mariae Naga sa Indogabos, good morning po. Today we celebrate one of the great preacher and doctors of the Church of the Franciscan Order. He is Saint Lawrence of Brindisi, and he was born on 1559, and he joined the Capuchin friars, taught theology to his fellow religious, and was chosen to fill position of leadership in his order. He was the Vicar General of the Order of Friars Minor Capuchin, which is the highest authority at that time, because before they have no Minister General because of the reform made by the Capuchins in the Franciscan Order. And yet, St. Lawrence Brindisi was able to put the Capuchin Order as part of those who belong to the Seraphic Father. And the Pope gives him many works to do. And notwithstanding that, he was able to still make many beautiful books and regarding the faith. At alam niyo po, si St. Lawrence of Brindisi, he knew almost half of the language in this world. Ano yun? Yes. He was able to knew Hebrew, Latin, Greek, Arabic, so on and so forth. Name it. And St. Lawrence will be able to talk and understand. One time, there was I think a Jew, even a Protestant, who wants to debate with St. Lawrence. And St. Lawrence speak fluently Hebrew and even the Aramaic, which is the language of our Lord, very fluently, that the Jew was converted to the Catholic faith. Because he said, I never heard a friar who speak well of our language and knew, sabi nga niya, mas alam pa daw ni St. Lawrence yung pagiging Hudyo kaysa siya na Hudyo mismo. And he was a great preacher. Great preacher. Kaya nga, he became the so-called evangelic doctor. Apostolic doctor. Doctor apostolate. And Saint Brindisi is a very, very devoted to our Blessed Mother. Kaya nga tama-tama, we are celebrating the feast of Saint Lawrence. At the same time, we are making the novena of our Mother Perpetual Health. Because St. Lawrence made a beautiful book called Mariae, if I'm not mistaken, which compiled all his teaching regarding our Blessed Mother. Isa na dun yung regarding the Immaculate Conception, and one of our friars, in his thesis for, I think, Mariology, he made the thesis regarding St. Lawrence and Brindisi, St. Lawrence of Brindisi and Mary Coredemptrix. So even St. Lawrence knew that our Blessed Mother is Coredemptrix in his Marialis. See, and you cannot preach well the good news if you are not devoted to our Blessed Mother. And this we saw in the life of St. Lawrence. No? He is devoted, most devoted. We can say Saint Lawrence to be one of the Marian saints of his time. No? He really loves Our Lady. No? He preached about Our Lady. And he defended, although it's not yet a dogma, no, the Immaculate Conception of our Blessed Mother. No? Kaya nga, no, in the second reading of the breviary today, no, regarding St. Lawrence, he talks about preaching. And he said, no, that preaching is very important as a Christian. Alam niyo po, yung pagpipreach hindi lang naman po sa akin, no, kundi gabos po tayo. All of us should preach. Of course, not all are given the grace or the charism to preach by word, but we should preach by our own life. Sa ating buhay. Paano ba tayo nabubuhay? How do we preach our life to others? Yung iba, bato-bato sa langit, ayaw makinig ng homily, ng preaching, no? Pero yung buhay nila, hindi naman din nakapag-preach ng maganda, ng mabuti. No? You know, it is not only by words that we can preach. No? It is also by our action and our way of life. Kasi, no, madali lang magsalita, di ba? Pero mahirap ang gumawa. No? And yet, every day, we preach either by words or by action. And we can only preach well if we are devoted to our Blessed Mother. Gaano ba tayo ka-devote? Especially us, no? Particularly us, who has the Marian vow, no? Who made an act of consecration to the Immaculate. No? How do we preach our Blessed Mother? Are we courageous like St. Lawrence to talk about Mary in our family, in our friends, in our loved ones, in our co-workers? No? Do we encourage others to pray the rosary? Do we encourage others to wear the miraculous medal? Do we encourage others to put the brown scapular? Or are we those, bato-bato sa langit uli, those who said, oh, huwag na kayong magrosaryo, huwag na kayong magmedalyos, miraculous medal, kasi superstition lang yan. Saan ba tayo? Where you belong? Where do you belong? Where do we belong? You know, St. Lawrence, even though he is a man, a doctor of the church, an intelligent friar, and yet his devotion to our Blessed Mother, he does not undermine. And alam nyo, makikita nyo ang isang tunay na matalinong tao when devotion and theology and intelligence go hand in hand. Kapag ang intelligence, ng isang tao dumating sa punto na he ridicule the devotion and others, nako, sabi nga, hold on tight, you know, it's a little bit dangerous, no? Delikado, no? At possibility of lumaki yung ulo. But St. Lawrence and even all the great doctors of the Church of the Franciscan Order, St. Anthony of Padua, St. Bonaventure, no? We celebrate July 15, and St. Lawrence, no? Blessed John Duns Scotus, all of them are great theologians, great philosophers. But, as what St. Francis said in the rules, Their devotion, their love goes together with their intelligence, with their wisdom that comes from God. Kaya nga po, no, nakakatakot, no? Nakakatakot po yung mga tao na sabi nga, sobrang talino na ng tao sa mundo, no? Kapag sobrang talino, and yet, no, wala nang devotion, wala nang pagmamahal kay ina, pagmamahal, no, sa simbahan, sa church, no? And let us ask, no, Saint Lawrence to be able to preach, no? Of course, not only by words, but most especially by action, and to preach about Our Lady, no? Wag po tayong mahiya, no? Let us be courageous, no, to talk about our Blessed Mother, no? Hindi lang kapag kapiesta ni ina, hindi lang kapag piesta ng Carmel, piesta ng saka lang tayo magsasalita about our Blessed Mother. Let us preach her every day in our lives. Praise be Jesus and Mary.